So, let's play a game. Oh, and let's hit a bunch of buttons. Wonderful. This is Path of Exile, the beta of which I was accepted into. What an unusual sentence structure there. A week ago or so. 2 weeks ago? Somewhere in there. And when the day I was accepted for the beta, I set everything up. And I recorded the very first session of me playing. I had never played the game before. And that's when I found out the next day, or when I recorded that one video. Remember a video a little bit ago, I mentioned that my recording software was set to record from the headset, but it wasn't. It was recording from the microphone. Well, that happened with this game too. And so the recording was completely worthless. There was no sound at all. Everything was messed up. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure everything's working now. And I could almost actually check. But yeah, this has to be working. I hope so much.
Thorgtar Bone Crusher, level 28 Marauder.
This game specifically says you may record and cast this game, so long as you disable global chat. Because it is a beta and they're trying to balance everything, and they don't want outdated or incorrect information heading out to the masses. Now, just yesterday, they released patch 0.95, and they completely changed a lot of things. They finally added selling items to the game, and they allowed you to respec your character and everything. And it gets to the point that you'll notice that my character here is in the Legacy League. They actually added these Legacy Leagues because these characters were created and played underneath the old patch. And since they've changed so much stuff, now they have the regular leagues and then these Legacy Leagues. So I'm going to create a new character, a default character. And at the moment, we only have 5 characters in the game. There are 3 ability scores in this game: Strength, Dexterity, and Intelligence. And there are 3 characters that have that as their primary attribute. Strength is the Marauder, Dexterity is the Ranger, and Intelligence is the Witch. From there are also 3 hybrid classes. Only 2 are available: the Strength Dexterity Duelist and the Strength Intelligence Templar. There's going to be a Dexterity Intelligence character, but he doesn't exist yet, or she doesn't. I don't know. This time, I've played as a Marauder for quite a while, and that's a strength-based melee character. So I'm going to switch over and play a Ranger this time. Whoa, hey, that was kind of badass.
The Ranger's a predator of the wilderness. Silent, quick, resourceful. Nothing weighs the Ranger down. No heavy armor, no hefty blade. No misplaced loyalty. Her only companion? Her longbow. The wild and she are one, but nature isn't known for its mercy, nor for its correct use of apostrophes, which are completely absent in this small paragraph.
And I don't know, I'm gonna call... I want to be a jerk and call her Meg Ryan, because she kind of looks like Meg Ryan. You know what, I'm gonna call her Megara, because it sounds like Meg Ryan. Click OK. Contacting server, creating character, wonderful. There should not be anything really new in the beginning of the game here. It should be the same kind of quest that everybody does, and this looks like it. Although they have added new quests later on in the game, which we're not going to see because it would take me hours to get there. Let's talk to the... where am I? Oh, there I am. I'm laying down... Okay, dying exile. Pick yourself up. Get out of the water. I clicked on him, talked to him. You and I, we're the only ones that made it, not counting my friend. Why didn't they just bloody execute us? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, bad guy. I'm gonna punch him to death. Punch, punch, punch. Oh, yeah. She is badass. And it even looks like she's wearing a tank top and some jeans or something. Jeans covered in mud. In this game, pick up a bow. They gonna... oh. Whoa. Hello. I got totally just kicked right out of the game. That's never happened before. I have had the game crash before. Okay, while I'm here, hide global chat. There we go. That's a requirement. I have to hide global chat. Let's get up. I'm totally going to punch this dead dude to death. No. Die. 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 Okay. And I'm going to check something real quick. Okay, I am still recording. Just because when the game reset like that, I wanted to make sure. Okay. The opening cinematic thing, and it's not really a cinematic, but there's a little opening where they talk about how we're prisoners and we're granted one weapon, and that's why everybody in that ship, when you get to choose your character, is kind of like in prison, but they each have a weapon. And then when you shipwreck, your weapon appears right next to you, and that's just sort of your starting piece. I don't know if your starting piece is randomly designed. For example, here I have one of each socket. Red sockets are for strength gems, green sockets are intelligence gems, dexterity gems, and blue sockets are intelligence gems. And gems are how you get skills in this game. All of your special abilities in that are, well, not all of them. Scroll of Wisdom, that's good, and I'll pick that up just because now we can sell stuff. Alright, so here it's just like a normal game. You have your inventory, you have your Scrolls of Wisdom, which let you identify magic items. The flasks, I don't know how it worked in like Diablo 2. These flasks don't disappear. They have charges, as you can see there. And when you drink, it uses a certain amount of charges. And then when you kill enemies, you gain charges. I know it used to be 1-to-1. I thought they said that they recently changed it. Flasks now, they give you a certain amount of hit points or mana points, but they do it over time. For example, here you get 60 life over 6 seconds. So that's, 10 life a second. And that's increased. It used to probably give you 60 life over like 3 seconds or 2 seconds. So they made it so it takes longer to heal, and then they also said that they made it take more kills to get your charges. And then so these refill, and as you go through the game you get bigger and better ones. Then there's this. This is the passive skill tree, and I can't even. This is a confusing, terrible mess. Fortunately, what you do is you just pick something. Oh, this is right. Come here. Pick something and stick with it. For example, for Thorg Tar, all I did was go this way and get all of these. Wow, this is actually different, and I'm getting my butt handed to me by this thing. There we go. That's better. There is no pausing in this game. And I'll go ahead and actually drink my potion. For Thorg Tar, yeah, this is laid out differently. They must have changed it since then. All I did was get him everything that increases his armor and his attack bonus and stuff like that. So I just made him into a melee beast. A giant tank. Alright, let's run around. The game is in beta, so everything is subject to being changed. These guys are easier to kill. I'm liking ranged combat. I actually did, as Thorg Tar, use a bow in this very beginning part, just so I could see what it's like. I'll go ahead and take that anyway. As you pick stuff up, if you don't have anything equipped, it will automatically equip it for you, so you don't have to worry about the very first pieces of equipment, which is good. I like it when games do that. Alright, second thing you'll notice here, it says quality plus 8%. Items can be magical. They can also just have better quality. Better quality increases their main thing. So, for example, armor, higher quality armor will give you more armor. Higher quality weapons probably deal more damage. Things like that. Go ahead and kill these guys. There's unlimited ammo if you have a ranged weapon, so you don't have to worry. See? Put that flask, it immediately went there. I can't use the shield. Well, I can use the shield, but I'm not going to because I have a bow. Whoop. I forgot. I just lost my train of thought. Ooh, there's an orb of augmentation. Go ahead and use a life flask again. That's the exact same cask, so I don't care. As you go through the game, and one of the one of the neat things about this game is there's no gold. Your character will never pick up gold pieces. Instead, they have what are known as currency items. And these items are little collectibles. They have specific magical effects. And but they're used as currency by the people in the game who sell stuff. So if you go to a vendor and you want to buy a weapon or something, you have to give them these currency items in exchange. Things like these scrolls of wisdom, which are things like the scroll of identify in Diablo. I think it was the scroll of identify. Things that tell you what an unidentified magic item do. Those are currency items. If you want to buy stuff, they cost scrolls. And so there's this dynamic between, do I want to identify the magic item that I have in my inventory and that may or may not be useful, or do I want to spend it on this item from the vendor that I know is useful? And for the most part, vendors don't sell magic stuff. Most of it's mundane, and then you'll find some items that have increased quality and some items that have a magical property. And of course, if they are magical, they cost more. But last I checked, if they're of increased quality, they don't actually cost more. You can find like belts that'll grant you a bonus, and as long as they're non-magical, it doesn't matter the size of the bonus. They all grant you the same amount. I mean, they all cost the same amount. So this right here is an Orb of Augmentation. I can add a mod if it has a slot free. So first of all, the item already has to be magical. And then if it is, and it has the ability to gain an additional magical mod, then that orb will give it the mod. Otherwise, I can use that as currency to buy other items. And over time, they're not very common items. You don't get tons of them on any given map or what have you. They're all random drops. Very little in this game is programmed in and constant. Okay, that big huge thing means I now gained a level. When you gain a level, your stats go up automatically. You get the most stat gain. For example, I probably just got plus 10 dexterity and then 4 for strength and intelligence. Maybe. I'd have to go back and look at the video. They have this handy dandy little chart here. So if you're comparing weapons, like right now I've got a bow, I'm doing 7.3 damage. If I grab this staff, I do 12.5. I do more damage with this staff. But unfortunately, then I have to be in melee range. It also has, if you have any miscellaneous bonuses for magic items, there's these charges, endurance, frenzy, and power. I haven't gotten to those yet, even with Thorgtar, so I don't know what those are. And then there's defense, and you can try on different pieces of armor and see how it affects your defenses, and it just does all the math for you, which is really great, because you don't have to sit there and try and figure out what's going to work. Right there, if you noticed, it looked like a big sonic boom when I hit it. I'm pretty sure that means it was a critical hit. Grab. Bonk. This is kind of cool. I loved having this bow and just shooting guys and killing them, especially in one hit, which is not always easy when you get to the higher levels. Thorgtar is spec'd for damage, and even he still usually takes 2 hits to kill things. Although he is only using a one-handed weapon. I bet you if I was specialized in two-handed instead, I might be able to kill guys in one hit. But I definitely like the tank. Wow, that looks cool with the 2 arrows in him. I like him with the tank, so I have him, he has a giant shield. I mean, his shield gives him more armor than his armor does. Boom! Come on, kill these guys. Sweet. Grab that, grab that. I'm not going to play too much. I mostly wanted to talk about the game. Unfortunately, right now it is in closed beta. So in order to play... And now I'm wearing greaves. Yep. In order to play, you have to apply to the beta and get accepted. And so that's not a given. You won't automatically get in. I applied a while back when Total Biscuit did a video on this game and just got in, like I said, 1 or 2 weeks ago. But other than that, it's an incredible Diablo clone. I find it a lot of fun. You get to wander around, you get to kill things, you get pick up magic items, get better equipment. It's pretty cool. There's monkeys. Several levels let you fight monkeys. There are some issues with it. Things where, like, again, I've never played Diablo 2, but I know what Fate does in the video game Fate, which is another Diablo clone. And I'm just so used to how that game works that certain things in this are kind of confusing to me. For example, oh, that guy's a really bad guy. Not happy. Run! No, don't let him hit you. Don't stand there and get pummeled. Because this is online and things are being handled by the server, you will notice delays. Sometimes you'll get out of sync with things. And as such, I don't have any abilities. I keep wanting to hit my right mouse button to use an ability. Oh, holy crap. Did he just pull that big old stick out of his face? Now I'm wearing gauntlets. That increases my armor. And now I have yet another bow, because I didn't have enough already. I can't get far enough away from this guy. Attack him. Kill him. There's another guy over here. Can I hit him? Nope. I don't have a good enough line of sight to him. Most of the time, these bosses, like this guy, are kind of a pushover. Especially when you... well, for Thorg Tar, they were definitely a pushover. This is quality, higher quality than the casque I am wearing. Can I pick it up? I can, and put it on, right like that. So now I'm even more heavily armored. However, there's what they call champions in certain levels. And those will be monsters with special auras on them. Oh, great. Now I gotta actually pay attention to what I'm doing. Let's get rid of that. These are the same, so let's get rid of that. In fact, pretty much anything that's not magical or high quality can just go away. I don't care about you. Let go. This is another part where I'm trying to drop stuff, but because it's server side, every once in a while the thing just kind of sticks to my mouse and doesn't go away. Close my inventory and I'll automatically pick this stuff up. There we go. And these are all magic. Now, I'm wearing plate with 16, but this one's magic. So let's see what this does. Okay, it adds life and lightning resistance. So I'll take that. Oh wait, this is quality. I'm going to keep it to sell. And I've currently got armor gauntlet 6, so let's do that. Plus 8 to dexterity and adds fire damage, so I'll take that. And these are both magical, but I don't think I really want to identify them because I don't plan to use them at all. I'm just going to leave all that on the beach. I'm totally going to just litter all over the place. This is increased quality, so I'll take that. I'll cover something else real quick. If we go into our character here, on our defense, there's armor, which gives you damage reduction. There's evasion, which gives you a % chance to just not be hit. And then there's, which I don't have right now, energy shield. An energy shield, you'll see my shield here is 0 out of 0. You'll have this white line that goes from over the side here, from the bottom up around to the top here. And it's basically just a blade of armor. When they hit you, your shield depletes first, and only once your shield is gone do you start losing hit points. And then if you're not being hit, if you're out of combat basically, your shield regenerates. And there's all kinds of items that give you a bigger shield or a quicker regenerating shield. And one of my goals with this character is I might actually go after as much energy shield as possible, since I am an archer and I will be using my bow. Being able to get, hit in the shield and then run away and just have my energy shield depleted instead of hit points, I think that would be a cool little thing. The only issue is armor tends to be associated with strength. The highest armor items tend to require a high strength attribute. Evasion items tend to require dexterity, and energy shield items tend to require intelligence, because the energy shield's magic and intelligence is magic users. This is the town? Am I in the town, or am I still wandering around outside? This is the town. If I run up here, this is the opening town. So you got dude over here, Tarkley. I think he gives me experience or something. You can read that if you want. Pause, and then read it. Goodbye. Alright, so when you finish that, when you get here, you get your first skill gem, and these are the skill gems. I don't know if they change which ones you have available each time for a different character. Obviously, as Thorgtar, I'm a Marauder. I'm a strength-based character, so I had like 3 red ones and a green one to choose from. Right now, as the Ranger, a dexterity-based character, I get 3 green ones, which are dexterity, and I'll let you see them now. So one is Split Arrow. It fires multiple arrows at different targets. So this is basically, I do less damage, but I'm going to hit 3 guys at once. So this lets me clear out mobs. Then I have Dual Strike, which is where I can wield 2 weapons. And here it would have to be melee, because I can't use 2 bows at the same time. I deal less damage, but I get to attack with both weapons at once. So, in a way, I'm doing more damage. And then here's Elemental Hit. It adds some amount of random elemental damage, fire, cold, or lightning. That actually can work, and it does say with any weapon, so I can use that on a ranged attack to deal... And it can add 2 to 4 base fire damage, and I believe 2 to 4 cold damage, and 1 to 7 base lightning damage. But it's random if you'll get any of the energy types, and then if you do, how much of each. So that's kind of cool. And then my red one here is Cleave. This, I didn't take this as Thorgtar, but I found one. Certain enemies, you can actually get drops for these skill gems. And this thing is just badass with Thorgtar. He just clears mobs. And because his armor's so high, I just let him stand there and let everybody surround him, and then I just slash through them. The other night I was actually fighting a bunch of monkeys, and that was kind of hilarious. I kind of want to take Split Arrow, because I've used Elemental Hit. It's alright. I've never used Split Arrow. And I think it would be cool to be able to shoot a bunch of arrows. So I'm going to take that. There we go. Putting it in my inventory causes it to go away. We'll talk to him in a minute. Now, in order to use a skill gem, you have to equip it in a socket on an item. So right now I have no skills. As soon as I do this, however, now I have a skill, and you can see it right here. Fires 3 arrows, and it's going to do 2 to 8 physical and 1 to 2 fire damage. And what's also cool is if you bring up the character menu again, and I'm in offense, you can switch to a different attack, and you will see that it updates the your offensive parameters for that skill. And as you go through the game, you can end up with a bunch of skills. Thorgtar has this entire bar full plus more. So he's wielding a whole bunch of different skills. You get to equip them to left button, middle button, right button on the mouse, plus QWERT. So you can have a bunch of skills on your hotbar, as it were. I almost exclusively just use whatever my middle and right skill buttons are. And actually, if I wanted to, I can change this and make Split Arrow the left mouse button. So if there is one that you want to use constantly, you can. The only issue I think I have here is, if you look at Split Arrow, it doesn't say it requires mana. The gem doesn't tell you how much mana it requires. But if you open up the character screen, then you see here it says mana cost is 12. So, and I have 49 mana, so I can cast that 4 times in a row real quick. Last, you have purchase items, since I want you to see how this purchase goes. You'll see here the cost is 1 blacksmith's whetstone, of which I have none. Scroll of Wisdom, so I could buy this staff for 1 Scroll of Wisdom. And there's all different kinds of items. Here's a magic bow. Adds 1 to 4 cold damage, costs 2 Scrolls of Wisdom, but it would be an improvement over my bow. 3 to 10, 3 to 11. So that's the kind of things we're looking at. When you get into higher levels and you start getting multiple skill gems, you start to care about what sockets are on your equipment, because you can only use gems that are in a socket. So sometimes there's this, you have 4 skills and you want to have access to all of them, but you don't have those color sockets. You might have to use a crappier piece of equipment just so you have access to the socket. And then they start adding in support gems. And these are gems that don't do anything on their own, but when they're connected to a skill gem, they modify it. For example, you see how these 2 sockets are connected to each other by that little gold bit in the middle, whereas these sockets are all separate. If I were to take this this skill and put it here, and then I put in the red one, for example, there's a support gem that adds 30% extra damage as fire damage. So now each time I shot an arrow, I would do 20% less damage, but I would also do 30% more damage as fire on top of it. I could not use that with my bow because they're not connected, but I could use it with these gloves because they are. So things like that. More armor, more weapons, more stuff. I'll have to look through that at some point. Oh yeah, we wanted to sell. So here's how you sell stuff. You take the stuff you don't want and you stick it in here. And as you do, you get these things up here. For example, the driftwood and this buckler are both worth a scroll fragment. If you get 5 of them, it turns into a scroll of wisdom. The reason why they do that is if it just immediately gave you a scroll of wisdom, well, you could then go buy something for a scroll of wisdom and maybe game the system somehow. So each of these just gives you a fragment. Scrolls are really easy because you only need 5 of fragments to get the scroll. When you have like these partial orbs, which maybe we can actually see. Are you worth a scroll fragment? Yeah, what about you? Are you worth a scroll fragment? Yes. What if I put you in there? Ah, see, this one's worth a transmutation shard. But you need 20 of those in order to get 1 orb of transmutation. And put that in there, and that'll get me a second one. Alright, let's sell it. And there we go. There's still, because the selling just came out, they're still trying to work out, people who are playing the game, what's worth what, and what's the formula, so that we can figure out what kind of things are worth the most. Last thing I'll show you right here is the stash. This is just your place to store items while you're waiting. For example, I like to put these pieces of stuff in here because no use carrying them around. They don't do anything for you. This is where I'll put equipment that I either am using currently, but I'm trying out a different piece, or I'm waiting to hit the prerequisites for it. Then I put these items, and then on the last one I put all the artifact or yellow level items that I find. So yeah, that's a quick introduction to this game. You have to sign up, and hopefully you can get chosen for the beta. And if I get any friend keys, because every once in a while they'll give people codes so that they can give them to their friend to get into the beta. If I get one, I'll probably put something up on my channel to give it away. Until then, well, let's look at the passive skill tree. So here I have 1 point to spend, and you have to follow these tracks as you go along. So I can spend it on strength and open up the ability to gain extra life, or I can spend it on evasion and increase my ability to dodge, which then leads to, for example, skill duration effect and more evasion. Or I can spend it on dexterity, that leads to dexterity, 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 dexterity. Now you're wondering, why would you spend it on plus 10 dexterity a bunch of times? Well, because it gets you to the back faster. Here, to get to the back, I got to go through all of these, whereas this one kind of loops around, and it's known as a highway. Here I can get attack speed, which leads to accuracy and projectile damage. Now, since I'm definitely speccing her to be an archer, I actually think I'm going to start here, because it also opens up a whole bunch of dexterities that I can get around to this bow damage. I'm not going to dual wield, so I'll probably do this bow stuff. And I'll just pick that right now. So this is 6% increased attack speed. Before I get that, let's open up this, and you'll see that I have 9.1 damage per second and 1.2 attacks per second. That's not going to change by a lot, but bonk. Now I have 9.6 damage and 1.27 attacks per second. That's just fun stuff. The only thing that sucks about skill points is you can't spend a skill point and then unspend. Well, actually, yes. Now you can unspend it. They added an item that lets you... It's called like the Orb of Regret, and when you use it, it gives you back your last skill point, so you can spend it somewhere else. So now that's in the game. That's kind of cool. I can't shoot anybody while I'm in town. Oh well. Until next time, bye-bye.